What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity? I hope you guys are doing well. With the launch of Season 1 of XDefiant fast approaching, we're just a few days away, I think it's important for us to have a conversation regarding some changes that need to be made to the gameplay of XDefiant. I don't want to really talk about netcode or hit detection in this video. I think we can all agree there needs to be improvements made there. It's just not consistent enough. With that being said, though, there are other aspects of the gameplay that I do think Ubisoft and the XDefiant team need to address as soon as possible. And the first of which is some of the abilities that are in the game. Overall, I think they've done a pretty good job having every ability feel unique as well as balanced to an extent. And the ultras, in my opinion, aren't too overpowered. They get you a few kills, and I think everyone's happy with that. They don't feel extremely oppressive. However, there are two abilities that are beginning to feel and creep into that oppressive territory. And I would like to see them adjusted as soon as possible. Those, of course, are the Intel Suit and the Spider Bot. And I think we can all agree that both of these abilities are extremely strong compared to their peers. The Intel Suit gives wall hacks to everybody on the team. The thing seems to be always active, and if you have a coordinated team that are utilizing 3 or 4 of these, you basically know where everyone is at all times. It's just a constant UAV. And the Spider Bot is extremely frustrating because it's pretty bugged. Sometimes you can get it off your body by meleeing it. Sometimes you have to shoot at your feet. It's over the top. And I think small and slight adjustments made to each will keep their powerfulness while also rebalance them. And I want to tackle the Intel Suit first because I've talked about this before, so I'm going to keep it short. The simple solution for the Intel Suit is one, you're the only player that benefits it, so the player that activates the ability is the only one that can see through walls. Works with the sonar goggles. I'm not sure why the Intel Suit is any different. And number two, increase the amount of cooldown that it has so that you can only activate this thing 4 or 5 times a game, and that's it. And I think you have a rebalanced ability that isn't overpowered, isn't oppressive, and doesn't create wall hacks for everybody on the team. But where I run into issues is how to properly fix the Spider Bot, because I think there is a tactical usage of this ability. But right now, it's getting spammed. It's becoming more of a nuisance than something that is adding depth to the gameplay. Not only is it bugged, it's also annoying. It's hard to destroy. It's incapacitating. And it just is frustrating to deal with. So how do we resolve that? I think part of it is lowering the HP of the Spider Bot, lowering the distance that it can travel, increasing the sound cues for it, but all in all, making it easy to destroy once it latches on your face. I still think that there needs to be a balance here of it not being too weak, but also it not being oppressive. I'm very curious to see them try to work this out. I wouldn't be surprised if they nerf it into the ground and make it unusable, only then to find a really good middle ground between the two that makes it useful, but not oppressive. But of course, I want to reach out to you guys on this one. What do you think? Would you like to see changes to the Spider Bot, to the Intel Suit? Are there other abilities or ultras that you think are a tad overpowered or oppressive that you'd like to see nerfed? Let me know with a comment down below. Now, this next one isn't so much a gameplay change as it is more just reassurance for the community. During the preseason, we haven't really had much of a statement from Ubisoft or any of their developers regarding an anti-cheat summary. And we all know cheaters are alive and well here in XDefiant, and the best thing to do is, of course, report them. But as this game continues on throughout its life cycle, it would be nice to get some reassurance that XDefiant is tackling this issue. Because anti-cheat right now is a massive topic throughout most of the gaming world, and it's only going to get worse as time goes on. So it'd be nice to get this nipped in the bud early on, and that reassurance would just be nice to hear. But nothing of the kind has been communicated yet to the community. So I'd like to see them get on top of that. Now to move back to gameplay. I've made my feelings towards snipers very, very clear. I think that they need a definitive nerf. Not something that's going to make them unviable, but something that does not make them as powerful and oppressive as they are right now. Besides that, though, is I would love to see a little bit of a buff given to the shotguns in this game. As I've heard the pleas, I've read the statements from community members that are using the shotguns, and they're just not good enough. They lose at close range to snipers. They lose at long range to almost every other gun. There needs to be a little bit more balance there for shotguns. Nothing overpowered, but something viable and usable in tactical situations where a shotgun should be the one that edges out in that fight. In addition to this, I'd like to see a slight nerf to the LMGs in this game. They are extremely strong. Something that would just increase the recoil a little bit, or the aim down sight time. Nothing major, not looking for exponential damage changes, just something a little bit restrictive to their overall power. I would also love to see an MDR buff. I think we can all agree that the MDR is the weakest of all of the assault rifles, and yes, I understand it's supposed to be a hybrid between an SMG and an AR, but it doesn't do either aspect well. It's not a hybrid, it's just a bad option, and I'd love to see a little bit of a buff given to it. And I have one more gameplay change that I think is going to anger some people, but I'd love to see a change to the proximity mine in some way, shape, or form that allows players with quick reflexes to avoid death, similar to how you get a nice grenade indicator and you hopefully can escape death, or how back in the old days of Call of Duty, when there was a bouncing Betty indicator, you were able to crouch or prone to avoid dying from it. And I think I would just like something similar to that that allows me to escape that potential death situation. Now, there's going to be times where I die from it and I got to live with it, but it would be nice if it wasn't an automatic death anytime I see that indicator. And one last thing to note that I want to see added at some point in Season 1 is some type of private match. I want to be able to go in against bots and test certain things out. Yes, I have the training center, which is great, don't get me wrong, I love it, but I would just love that opportunity to dive into the maps and look at them in a private match setting. So I'd love to see that being added at some point in Season 1. Those are kind of my thoughts right now as we head into Season 1, but I'd love to hear from you. So let me know in the comment down below what you'd like to see added, changed, fixed, adjusted for Season 1 of XDefiant. And as always, guys, we're gearing up to the launch of Season 1, so any news and notes will be covered here on this channel, so if that's something that would interest you, think about hitting that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.